Just start now.
Okay. There we go. There we go. I forget. And anyway, I'm going to repeat that. Anybody heard of the WOOP method? WOOP. And it basically stands for wish, outcome, obstacles, and plan. So when we think about WOOP, we think about what are the things that we wish for? What are we wanting either to accomplish? And this could be physically, personally, business-wise, whatever though that wish is or goal. And then what will that outcome look like? How will that look like in our life? How will that make us feel? And then what are some of the obstacles that we're going to have to overcome? What are some obstacles that could enter itself on the process to achieving that wish or that goal? And then what is our plan? What is our plan to overcome that? Because we all know without a plan or something set in concrete, a wish is just a wish. You're going to find it doesn't come to fruition, because so many times you hear people say, well, I want to lose weight. If they don't set a plan in place, it's not going to happen. 90, probably 98% of the time, it's not going to happen if they don't set a plan in place, or they look at, okay, what do I want? What's that going to look like? What are the obstacles, and how am I going to achieve that? How am I going to overcome that? So I like that. It's just a very simple way to kind of think about it. And the other thing I got thinking about is everything we do in life usually centers around our mission in life. Who we are and what we're about. And if I'm focused on impacting, my focus is to become your best you. And how do we do that? We do that not just through Shaklee. Shaklee can be a starting point for a lot of people. But to become your best you, I believe that involves mindset change. I believe that involves the whole physical being, body, soul, and spirit. So all three of those encompass to be your best you. And so if I'm focused on that, and I am focused on impacting our world, I was just talking with a gentleman about this. What better way than to bring other people on that have the same vision, have the same desire, have the same goals, and we work together? How much more can get done with 5 or 10 people versus one, right? And then basically everything that I do needs to kind of point to that direction. So when I am looking at what I am trying to accomplish, so that's kind of within what I'm doing in Shaklee as I talk with people, or as I converse with people and invite people. I want to make sure that people see that entire picture of what Shaklee is about, because there are other people that I'm going to find that are going to be like-minded, just like you are. You're going to find other people that are like-minded and that have the same goals and things that they want to accomplish, and that want to help people, that really want to make a difference in other people's lives. And you'll find that the more Shaklee people you meet in this business, you are just going to be blown away. And one of the things that I believe is really important is mindset. I'm going to ask all of you, and you can raise your hand or you can say yes. Do you all have affirmations that you do on a daily basis?
Not anymore.
Any reason?
I just forget to do it, and I let things like that get away from me.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen, because I've got a couple things I want to share. Let me just make sure those are up when I do that. You know what? It's so easy to stop doing things, and I think we all do it. I do it. I'm guilty of that. And so it's great to be reminded of those things. And so I'm reminding you today, if you don't have affirmations, put some affirmations down, even on your phone. I actually have one right on my phone that every time I open my phone, I see it. Okay. And so that's right there. And so I encourage you with your phone, put a couple of those affirmations on there. That's right on your phone to be able to see that. And whenever you're looking at affirmations, I always look at it. I tell people that whatever you are hesitating or fearful about or doubtful about, turn it around to a positive affirmation of declaration. So I've talked with certain people that were like, well, I'm not that outgoing to talk with people. So you can see here, I've got some affirmations up here. So what we did is we changed that affirmation to, I am outgoing and excited to talk with people to offer all that Shackley has. And one of the things that, because I was very unsure of myself at first, to share what had been working for me and what's been great as far as my own health with Shackley. And I don't realize how much of a difference these products have made until I start talking with other people. And then I came to the realization, all I'm here to do is to invite them to take a look and share what we have. And before I would be like, oh, I don't know if I really want to bother somebody, or oh, they're not going to be interested. And I would say this to myself. So what I was doing is I was sabotaging myself. And then coming to the realization that a lot of people are looking for what we have. They just don't know where to find it. So what I began to do is I began to say, my business changes lives. What I have to offer to people makes a difference for their quality of life. I am so excited to share what Shackley has to offer to other people. These are some of my own affirmations that I would say. I am offering a valuable service to people, and people are going to be grateful that I did that. So really all affirmations is taking a negative thought pattern and changing that into a positive one. Do you think we all could take and come up with 2 or 3 affirmations we could start doing on a daily basis? Absolutely. Absolutely. Does anybody need help making affirmations?
Yeah, well, I know how to do it, so I don't practice it like I should.
Okay. Put it on your phone. Put it on
Okay.
your phone. And then the other thing is you can take 3x5 cards, or sticky notes work great. Take sticky notes and write your positive affirmations. Put them on your bathroom mirror. Put them on your refrigerator. Put them when you get up in the morning on your nightstand. Put them in different places where you're going to see those affirmations every single day.
Marcia, I put my affirmations, I write them on my bathroom mirror with a dry erase marker. So every Saturday when I, clean my bathroom and my mirrors, I erase that one and I put up a new one.
So it comes right off the bathroom mirror.
It does.
And it doesn't
know what
leave
I use to clean my mirror with?
Basic age.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Uh-huh.
That's a
use your
great
dry
tip.
erase markers.
Okay, I have some of those. I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, we have a mirror at our entryway when you walk in, and if
Yes.
somebody's coming over and it's like their birthday or their anniversary or whatever, I'll write stuff up on that for them.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to have to do that when I have company. I'm going to start putting some messages on the mirror.
Yeah, by Shackley.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Another thing that I had heard from a friend of mine is, she said, with your positive talk, make sure that when you're waking up in the morning that you are saying positive things to yourself.
Mhm.
Instead of rolling over and say, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to get out of bed. Instead, it's a new day. I am excited about the new opportunities that today is going to bring for me. Thank you, Lord, for another beautiful day.
Yeah.
you know, and just begin to have that positive self-talk, even before you get out of bed. The other one that she said is, she says, when she goes to bed, she does the same thing. She thinks about positive talk, and she continues to talk positively to herself. And if she says anything negative, she makes herself get out of bed and start all over again. So she will, if she encounters a negative thought, she gets out of bed and she gets back into bed and she starts over. So I was like, okay, that's an interesting thought, right? So, something I want to, we've been talking, anybody else have thoughts, comments, questions on any of that? I always like to ask. I don't want to monopolize all the time. Now what I want to do is I want to ask everybody, well, I actually want to mention something for those of you. We're talking about invitations, okay? Inviting people to take a look. And did those of you that we had talked last week, did you pick out your 4 word tracks, your 2 business and your 2 product? Does anybody want to volunteer? Or to practice?
Cool. Oh, my baby, yeah. I love you.
I'm looking here. Anybody?
Mm-mm.
Remember, you might be on mute. When we're looking at invites, remember we talked about last week. If you didn't see last week, it is recorded on my YouTube channel. Our goal is to add value to people's lives. Who are you looking to serve and add value to? What do you have to offer? Showing up authentically. Be curious. We talked about asking questions, asking a lot of questions. The more questions you ask, Mary mentioned this, I believe, the more questions you ask, the more trust you build with people. And it helps us to be able to better give direction for people. And what they're looking for, knowing and being able to connect with people.
Shall I eat without you?
Just a minute. It's coming in my ear. What
Oh,
did you say?
Shall I eat without you?
I'm not sure who that is.
Shall I eat without
Go
you?
ahead. Go ahead, dear. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not sure who's talking about eating. But anyway, look for people that are dissatisfied with your work or workplace. Remember, we talked about a needs notebook. Having a needs notebook and listening to people and their own challenging situations, whether it be at work, whether it be in their expenses, whether they're just their health in general, talking about wanting to have more time with the family or to pursue hobbies and goals. And so when you ask, we listen, and we talked about that last week. Asking open-ended questions like what, which, how, when, and asking people to tell us more about certain things that they're having issues with or dissatisfied with. And I'm just going to kind of come down here. So did anybody pick out a couple they want to share? Remember, you're muted.
I wrote up a couple kind of on my own. I didn't.
That's okay.
And one of them was the using the needs notebook. Hi, how are you doing today? I was just thinking about you and the conversation we had a few days ago. You mentioned that you're having a problem with arthritis. I was just listening to a webinar where the person was telling about the natural solutions they'd found that were helping their arthritis. And I was wondering, do you like to use natural solutions rather than pharmaceuticals so you can avoid side effects? I could send you the link. I mean, if they say yes, I
Yes.
could send you the link. Would you have a chance to listen to it by such and such a date? I'll check in with you on such and such a date. I want to hear your thoughts about it, okay?
Yes.
The needs notebook, I like that approach. And the lady that was on earlier tonight, Michelle, she is a result of that, because I had written down one of her needs that she had expressed.
Mm,
She came tonight. We'll see.
awesome. Awesome. And one of the things in the invites was conversational approaches. And knowing that with their needs and whatever you may have heard somebody comment about, it's kind of right along the same line of what Mary said. And, you know, as simple as either meeting them, talking with them in person or on the phone, you know, hi, Mary, this is Marcia. You know, I heard you talking the other day about different things that you were experiencing in your health. And, you know, I thought of you when I was talking with a friend about some of the great results that they have had, you know, through doing natural means and through good nutrition. You know, would that interest you to hear more about that? Would you like some more information and how you can do that and feel better, you know, through good nutrition? And so it's a very simple way of presenting. You've heard the need. Now you would like to share with them some information. And like Mary shared, we have different webinars. We can share an overview of Shaklee because people are looking for different means. And that's like sometimes you'll be hearing somebody might be looking for extra work. And you can say, you know, I heard, and that's up here a little bit. There's a couple things with third power of influence. This is a good one. I met somebody I really believe, you'd say you were talking to somebody and saying, I heard you, you know, it sounds like you've been looking for additional streams of income or a way to make added money, you know, and I met somebody that is helping me to make an extra income. And it may or may not be of interest to you, but, you know, they're really helping me. And again, I'm kind of doing a little bit different on here. You're going to find that your wording is not going to be exact, but it's just to kind of give you some ideas. The more invites that you look at, the more ideas that you get as far as what's comfortable for you and the direction that you want to take with people. Does that make sense? Does anybody else want to share an invite or two that they liked or came up with? Anybody have an example of somebody they thought about inviting that they would like to role play with? Remember, some of you are on mute. No? All right. Well, we'll have to work on some of those with you individually with some of your people that you have on your list is what we like to do. And what I challenge everyone to do when they're looking at invites is when you're making your list, I mean, this is a list of people very easily. I think they generally say most people know at least, what, 1,500 to 2,000 people? Is that right? An easy way to tell is go into your contacts on your phone and tell how many people you have in your contacts. That'll give you an idea of just how many, and that's only who's in your contacts. So if you go in there, I think Ray is looking that up now, aren't you? Are you going to share with us? Oh, I don't believe that. You have more than 4 in there, Ray. I think she
I have
go
about, I have about 60.
60. Well, that's a good start. Now that's just who's in your contact list. That doesn't count all those other people that you know by name, right? So, and if you don't know how to do that, go into your contact list and it should, I'm trying to say, oh yeah, if you hit the little paragraph at the left-hand side, it'll tell you how many contacts. Do you want to know how many contacts I have?
Yes, yes.
How many?
Over 1,500. Most people have a ton. Now go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to, if you're trying to talk there, Jenny.
Nothing. All I was going to say is, like I said, you love to reach out to people.
Now listen, that has become an art of inviting people. There was a time that I didn't. And there was a time that I was very fearful to do that.
Yeah.
But it was when I came to what really makes me stretch every day is I think about the people like my mom that needed what we had and were praying for an answer. And this man was kind enough to reach out to her. Even when she told him no, he continued to reach out to her. And so that will forever be ingrained in my mind because I've had to talk with my mom so many times, and I'm so grateful because that was life-changing for her. Literally life-changing. You know, she was supposed to be in a wheelchair 53 years ago and she's still walking. So Shackley has been a very integral part of her life and her health and their lifestyle. If it wasn't for Shackley, they wouldn't be able to live the lifestyle they've had. You know, so that's what makes me reach out to people. Even though sometimes people tell me no. Mary, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I believe this is true, that when your mom introduced us to Shackley, she sent her friend, because she didn't have a car to use. There was only one car in the family. I think you were living in a mobile home or something similar. And your dad had a job filling vending machines.
Yes. Yes. My parents, I'll never forget the story. She said they had this old Carmageddon. I don't even know what a Carmageddon is, but I know the name because I've heard the story so many times. And they didn't have a back seat, so they had to put a board. And me and my sister would sit in the back, and every bump we would hit our head. Oh. And they would have to park. Listen, I'm telling you, they would have to park this Carmageddon on a hill to get it going. You know, so my parents didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. And because of this opportunity and the change in their health, and for them to be able to help people, literally they rolled out of a sick bed into a business. You know, they got the cars paid for, they got the trips, they've lived a lifestyle. And I always remember growing up with both parents home, you know, so I got to spend a lot of time with my dad, which is not common for people. So again, I'm just coming back to that. Jenny, when you're afraid to reach out to people or talk to people, you remember the difference that it's made for you and your family.
I just wrote that down.
you think about what would have happened if you didn't have Aunt Mary. Where would you have gone if you didn't have somebody that you knew was into nutrition? What then?
Right.
Would there have been anybody to turn to? And I think that's where we are missing the mark of the mission. You know, the mission is that we're here to tell people that we have something that really changes their life. You know, not just physically, but it can change their entire life, like it did for my family. So anyway, and I think that's why it's important for us to continue to think about, you know, what our life will look like. And when we're asking questions, you know, sometimes that clarity isn't there. And so really thinking about that and asking people to tell you more about that situation of what they're in and what they're looking for and what they're looking to improve. I know for myself, I get so excited. I just want to tell them all the good stuff. You know, there's so much goodness to tell people, but it's in that listening and remembering why. You know, yes, we sell a product. Yes, we have a service to give to people, but that's not the bottom line. The bottom line is to make a difference for people. And if we'll just keep that in the back of our minds. It's nice to see you, Jaso.
All right. Yeah.
You're heading.
Well, I'll just say something before I leave. I have a friend here at work named James. He's starting to have an affinity for the triple defense boost. So I'm working on him. So yeah, I'm
Well,
working
good.
on getting caught up with all my stuff. It's been busy lately, but I'm catching up.
You'll do it. You just listen to the recordings if you miss it. If you don't get on here. I know you're a busy
Okay.
guy.
All righty.
You have a good night.
Good
All right, you
night.
too. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I think something to remember is to just look for those connections with people. You know, look for a way to connect and be able to invite people to take care of those needs that people are looking for. Being in active pursuit on a daily basis. Whose life can I change today? Whose life can I interact with and make a difference with? You know, sometimes I hate that term recruiting because it sounds so cold. It's all it is a business terminology. So if you look at it as being an active pursuit of making a difference for people, you know, how many people have you talked to make a difference in their life? You know, make a list of at least, sit down and just first names. 151 people is what Danielle Delgado says. Make a list of 151 people. And then begin to have some quality conversations. And we can talk about that. We can talk about the categories of which to put them in. You know, one of the things is people that you know of that are looking for additional income, or that you think would be a perfect fit for this business. They have the same outlook on life. They have the same wanting to help other people. They're always helping other people. Those are the type of people that Shackley attracts because they want to make a difference for others. And so if you have a list of those people, then we want to talk about inviting them just to say something as simple as, Anne, you know, you are a very caring person. You know, if I call up Anne and say, hi, it's Marcia, this is one of the phone calls I will have a lot of times with people. Okay. Even if it's somebody I haven't even talked with in a while, especially that, because sometimes you'll think of people, think of this as a great reconnection. This is a great business to be able to really start reconnecting with people. Because now the thing is you have come up on a radar of something that's made a difference. So now, because of the difference it's made, all these people come to mind that are on your radar that weren't there before. Why? Because you have something that can make a difference for them. That's the reason that they're on your radar. And so I'm just going to give an example. Say I call Anne. She's a friend I haven't talked to in years. And I call her up, and she's somebody I just thought of that is great with people. They love people. They're very sociable. They're always going out of their way to help other people. And this is actually a couple that I know. And I got to make a phone call to them because they just came to my mind just recently. And so, you know, I call them up and say, hey, how you doing? There's a couple reasons why I'm calling. One, we haven't connected in a long time, and that's partly my fault. You know, how are you guys doing? How's the family doing? You know, remember I said there's 2 reasons I'm calling right off the bat. So that's the first one. I just kind of, hey, you know, how are things going? Well, there's a second reason I'm calling. The second reason is I'm involved in building my own business with a wellness company. And you came to mind, as we were talking as a group within our organization. We got talking with some of my other business partners, and we were talking about different people that gravitate towards this business, that have come in and built successful businesses for themselves. And these are people that genuinely care about other people. They are always going out of their way to help others. You are so great with people. You just have that genuine care for them. And it may or may not be of interest to you, but I had to call and at least ask you just to take a look. If I sent over a short video for you, would you watch it? Okay. Is that life-threatening? Is that being too pushy? No, I don't think it is. I think the first thing that they're going to feel is they're going to be like, wow, that was really nice of you to think of me, in that category of people. And you genuinely think of at least two things of why you would want to introduce them, either to the business or to the product. Think of one or two compliments, that genuinely are them. And then at that point, I would say, I'm sure they're not going to tell me no, because I was nice enough to think about that. And, and they may say, well, I am so busy right now that I just don't know if I have time for another thing. And I'm going to say, you know what? That's okay if it's not. Just take a look. Just take a look. Just explore it. And again, like I said, it may or may not be for you, but just look at it. And then I'll catch up with you and I'll be curious to kind of hear your thoughts on it. And we can talk about that a little bit further. Does that sound pretty comfortable? Yeah. Because I'm not asking them to do anything. I'm not asking them to sign up today. I'm asking them to evaluate it. And I think that that's what I have found so profoundly effective is when you're talking with people, you're asking people to look. I'm not asking them to buy anything or do anything today. I'm just asking them to look at what we have. And so that makes all the difference in the world. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Is that written in your list?
Is that written in my list?
Yeah, the one that you just gave about talking to someone about, they came to mind and about the business and
Kind of. There's actually a couple different ones in there that are kind of like that.
Yeah.
But then what I did is I kind of gave it my own twist on it. I gave it my own personality.
Right.
So that's why I say you want to look at word tracks. Okay. So read through all those. Another one that I'm going to send you to that has a lot of Zoom tracks too is, hang on a minute here. Let me bring it up. Maybe make sure that's on. I want to show you real quick before we're done. If you go into, let me go ahead and get rid of that. The Better Future training. If you go into here, the Better Future training, and you go down further, there's a whole bunch of word tracks in here. Business conversations right here. So if you scroll down right here, you can go into all kinds of other business conversations. Okay. Which will give you just more information to be able to, again, the more types of word tracks and invitations that you look at, the more ideas you get for wording. And it's very helpful to kind of go through there, read through there and kind of see what you like the best and kind of what is more you and more conversational to you. And then tweak it a little bit, play around with it a little bit, and then we can go over those. Okay. Any questions? Comments?
I have a comment.
All right.
I would like to congratulate Jenny because in the last 3 days, she sponsored 3 people with $150 order or more.
Yay.
So she qualified for her star bonus.
Good job.
I'm sorry, I get
Yes.
embarrassed when people
Congrats.
do stuff with this. So that's just me, but thanks.
And I also have to say that she did a wonderful job. She helped with her Zoom launch. She did part of the presentation. She also did a very good job and part in the follow-up, asking the questions and getting people started. She did all the signing up and all of that on her own.
Yay.
Nice.
And I learned something the other day when we were trying to, type in stuff and find them and get the costs and all that. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I just went to cart, which is probably what somebody might have already told me, but just go to cart, type it in, and then automatically you don't have to go to look and then the product, click on the product. You know what I mean? And so that was like, okay, boom, boom, boom.
I should have told you that.
No, that's okay. I learned it on my own. Like, wait a minute. I think if I do this, yep. And so then I had a friend tonight at church ask me a few questions about other things. Well, how much does that cost? And I did the same thing because it was just quicker and easier on my phone. Boom, boom. Well, what's it going to cost me if I add this to my order or whatever? So learning.
Good. Yeah, see, so you learned a faster way to get the job done. And that's what you're going to find is as you go through it, it's just continually learning curve as you move forward. And that's why we like to do a lot of things with you, because you'll learn faster.
I appreciate you too. All of you, but Mary and Marcia. So I'm gonna say, if you're going to say thank you, I'm going to say thank you to you guys first.
Anybody else? Thoughts, comments? It's nice to see all your smiling faces.
I did put, you talk about color note, is that right? Color note? I did put that on my phone and I started adding some links to that.
Yay.
They'll be handier. And I just want to go through and I need to look at more links and add them. But that was something that I was learning how to do that.
Yes. So once you download the color note, it looks like a little sticky pad and it has note written on the front of it. Once you download that, you can go in and it's a filing system. You just hit the add button at the bottom. It'll bring up like a page, like a piece of paper. And whatever you type on the very first line is what it will be filed under. And so then when you go in, you double tap it and you can add to it. And automatically when you go out of it, it saves it. So it's my filing system that I can very easily go into and just continue to add things and update. So I encourage you to do that. And it's pretty simple. It is pretty simple. Thank you for sharing that, Leah.
Well, I'm working on it. Like I say, I have this new cell phone and I'm just figuring things out as I can. And I appreciate your help to do that. I still was a little slow catching on, even with your instructions. But anyway.
You're not alone. We all have our own ways of catching on to things.
Did anybody listen to the call this noon?
Not had time yet.
Okay. There's a special starting March 1st that sounds like a good one. Goes the 1st to the 23rd, I believe, with the purchase of a Life Shake and an add-on product that you can mix in your Life Shake, like the Greens Booster, Collagen, the teas, or Triple Defense Boost, or any of those. The person will get a free frother.
Oh,
I'm sorry, free what?
Frother.
Oh,
frother.
Stick in your drink and mix it all up whizzer, I don't know. I think they call it.
I like it. Now
So-
also too, go ahead. No, finish.
Is that part of the Ready Set Health, the bundle, or is it any purchase of Life Shake and or what? Are you saying?
Any purchase of Life Shake, I believe, but we better wait and see the rules. But
Okay, I just
Right.
wondered.
it's,
I mean, I'm not gonna go ahead and do this right now. I just want to know what it is. so.
Two is, you know the blender bottles we couldn't get?
yeah.
We can get them now. I just ordered 10 of them.
I wished I would have ordered one for my son. But that's
It's
okay.
free, it's free shipping.
Mhm.
It's free shipping.
Oh,
You can still order one.
he'll be home
Anyway.
soon.
Yeah. So there, the blender bottles are now available. So you can order those, which are my favorites to put stuff in and samples and different things. So, thank you for sharing that, Mary. I'll have to go in and hear that. Anybody else? That's it. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over some things, and I may have a video I will send out for everybody to watch for us to talk about next week. Now let me ask you, what would you like more training in that you feel like you need more help in right now?
All of the above? No, just kidding. No.
I have a question about tomorrow with the kind of member benefits that we're